You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Tuesday the 30th of September 2025 and you're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. It's weird that I'm recording this when I am. It's about 8:30 in the evening. And there's a tiny chance I will get my work done, get my 25,000 words signed off by the end of today. But I'm still struggling with the jet lag, and so basically, I've done quite a lot today. I'll talk about it in a second. But in writing terms, I did a 2-hour writing live stream during which I did 2 and a bit writing sprints, and I got the zero draft, so the first version of chapter 12 written. I had an idea last night about the scene I could end it with, and there's so many other little bits that I literally just happened whilst I was writing it. So there's some stuff I hadn't planned that happened, and there was an extra scene that I thought of last night, and I just remember thinking, I don't want to forget this, so I quickly incorporated it with my eyes open in the middle of the night, incorporated it into my notes. What else have I done? So it's written, but it now needs the edit. And if I'm honest, I could technically, if I find the urge, get it done before midnight, but my hunch is that's not going to happen. I am still very jet lagged, so once again I woke up. I went to bed last night having basically been a zombie for most of yesterday, and woke up at 3 a.m, managed to get a little bit more sleep, and then I had a doctor's appointment today. So I've been struggling. I've had pains in my hip for quite a while now, and I finally went and had an x-ray on earlier in the month, 3 weeks ago today in fact, and basically I found out today that I have got moderate to severe inflammation in the hip brought on by arthritis, and at some point, probably not immediately soon, at some point I will have to have hip replacement surgery. Now, the doctor probably thought I felt really calm when he told me this, but if I'm honest, I had blown it up in my head to being something far worse than that, because unfortunately my brain always goes to the worst possible place. So, when he told me it was something that involved surgery but basically is very survivable, I just went, oh, thank fuck for that, So he's probably expecting some kind of reaction like, oh God, really, hip replacement? Oh, whereas my action was like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll live with that. And it's not going to be any time soon, because unfortunately they'll wait till I'm completely and totally fucked before they'll do anything about it. So I am going to see a specialist in the meantime, to see if there's anything interim they can do. So one of the possibilities, he said, is the thing with arthritis, you get extra bits of bone growing on the bone, which is what is partially causing the pain. And it's possible they can do something keyhole that would remedy that. There is pain relief that I can take that will help. I've been given some quite strong drugs. They're not like illegal ones. They're not ones that you have to declare. They're not what they're called. Anyway, they're not based on morphine. That's it. And I should only take them when I'm in pain, which the previous doctor didn't explain to me at all. So that's good. But I'm not going to take them unless I need them. At the moment, I don't need them. And the other thing that kind of worries me a little bit is how that will impact on my job. Because at the moment, I'm fully mobile, but there's going to come a point, hopefully in a few years, but could be sooner than that, where I'm not going to be mobile enough to do the job. And I'm just a bit scared that the NHS isn't going to sort it out with enough time for me to retain my job. Now, on top of that, separately to that, I had a mortgage that I paid off 2 years ago when I got my inheritance. And the type of mortgage I had was an endowment, which basically meant I was paying off the interest, and I also took out an investment. And the idea was at the end the investment would pay off the mortgage. Now, it didn't need to in the end because I'd already paid it off, but I still kept paying into that investment because it was only 125 quid a month. So I've got a nice big lump sum due any day. And my original plan was to buy a narrowboat. And I still may, but I'm going to hold off for now. So firstly, once you're in the boat, it's fine, but climbing in and out of the narrowboat with a bad hip isn't much fun, because I'm limited to mobility a little bit, especially if I'm crouching down and stuff like that. So I've come to the conclusion that I'm not going to buy a boat yet, because it might be worth my while getting the hip replacement done privately, which could cost about 25 grand. So that's fun, and will stop me buying a boat. But it would mean I get to keep a job that I really, really adore. So that's kind of what's going on in my head. I don't have to make any decisions yet. The only firm decision I've made is I'm not going to buy a boat now. I will wait until I know what's going on with my hip. But then, I will consider getting private surgery if it's going to help me keep my job. So that's kind of where I am. So it's been a funny day. So there was kind of emotional highs and lows. I mean, I'm happy that it isn't anything more serious. I'm not going to tell you where my brain went, but if you know what my dad died of, that's where my brain went. So in a sense, I'm kind of relieved. But I was toying with the idea, should I give up the job, because it's quite tiring, and I've started to realise that, with the possibility that I may not be able to do it, I don't want to give it up. So I think retaining the pennies and considering doing that, getting the hip replacement surgery done privately if that's where it goes. But we shall see. I don't try to talk about myself health-wise too much on here, but that's been weighing on my mind literally since this podcast started. Actually, I had my first hip pains, and I never talked about it on here, obviously, but kind of when I started this, it's been going on for a while. Anyway, that's me for today. There's a tiny chance I'll suddenly get really motivated and finish off my editing tonight, but the reality is I'm probably going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to give myself a 1-day extension to finish it, and then I shall start my 30,000 words for October on the 2nd of October. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to the Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.